right, now let's talk about things that might cause my servo pressure to fluctuate. If I have a baby that's very active, moving around, breathing on their own, those kinds of things, I'm going to see my servo pressure bouncing around. Anything that you might see your peak inspiratory pressure fluctuate, you're going to see your servo pressure fluctuate because it's regulating this. So it's constantly going to adjust if my peak inspiratory pressure adjusts for any reason. So if your baby's moving, or they cough, or they're breathing on their own quite a bit, they're very active, you're going to see big fluctuations there. Sometimes if that baby has chest tubes, especially multiple chest tubes, you might see some fluctuations in that servo pressure. If they have, keep in mind that if a lot of times with neonates, you have air leaks around the ET tube. So, and a lot of times they're positional. I might position the baby on the right side and I have a huge air leak, or I may position the baby on the left side and I have a very minimal air leak. You want to note those kinds of things and note where your how your servo pressure responds to that, because that baby, if you flip the baby on the right side and you have a huge leak, then your servo pressure is going to be a little higher. It's providing more gas flow to compensate for the gas that's being lost. If you flip that baby over on the other side, you'd expect your servo pressure to come back down because you don't have as much of a leak on that side. So make note of those types of situations so that you know when the baby's being repositioned what could happen to your servo pressure. The other things that could cause your servo pressure to fluctuate are going to be if I have water in any of my tubings, let's say in my conventional circuit or my jet circuit sloshing around in there, that's going to cause my servo pressure to bounce around. So I want to make sure that all my lines are always clear of the water, and that's a very good indication if you have that bouncing around that, that you could have a situation like that. Another thing to think about, and don't ever forget, is your little life port adapter. There's room for error here in the fact that, so let's say that somebody came up and they put this on too tight and they actually cracked it. Then we've got a little bit of leak going on there that you may not see. You may not be able to see this leak. So don't, always inspect this. Make sure that that you can rule this out. You can change it out if you're getting big fluctuations. It's a very disposable piece, so please do change it out. We'd rather you do that than start changing your circuit and that kind of thing. Also, the pressure line here. If this pressure line becomes full of secretions or any kind of condensation, anything like that, then this could also cause some fluctuations in my peak inspiratory pressure. So if you see any little bead of water or something bouncing around in this pressure line, then you're going to see fluctuations in that servo pressure. So you can either change out your adapter or you can manually purge your pressure line. All right, so that pretty much sums up servo pressure. Always keep in mind that you do want to document your servo pressure, you do want to trend it. When you get your patient set up, you find your baseline and then you trend from there. And you're definitely going to monitor that number. Again, if there's any questions at all, you have issues where you're not quite sure what your servo pressure is doing, why it's changing, that kinds of things, please always call the hotline. We're always there to help in any of these situations. So, okay, that's it. Thank you.